In today's tutorial, you're going to learn how to create this particular sci-fi galaxy. We're going to go through a single trick that's going to help you render this really fast with all of these stars within cycles. So stay tuned till the end so you don't miss that out. And with that, let's actually begin the tutorial. Our main galaxy object is just the default cube that's been resized and rotated arbitrarily to give it some more character. However, the main idea is that we're just going to use a principled volume node to create the entire galaxy structure within it. Up until the final render, we're going to be using Eevee just so that it's faster to view, but the final render will be in cycles, and don't worry, it's still going to be extremely fast. So let's go ahead and actually begin creating the galaxy material. So in the rendered view, if we were to just add in a principal volume with a little bit of emission strength, this is what we get. However, the first thing that we need to do is ensure that we have just a disk that represents the galaxy shape instead of the entire cuboid. So let's go ahead and use a gradient texture with the mapping set such that it is scaled down on the z-axis, making this disc-like shape that'll act as our galaxy. Now we obviously need to break this up to give it the spiral texture, and we can do that using this swirly noise texture that we created. It's actually just a noise group, which is just a noise texture whose mapping is dependent on a gradient texture. So essentially the Z value is going to change based off of a spherical gradient. So as we go towards the outsides, the Z rotation increases more and more, so it starts swirling in. This is a technique that we've already done before in this particular tutorial, so definitely check it out if you haven't. But the exact same idea is used over here. And of course, we're adding in this scene time divided by some value to help it rotate. So let's take a look at what this exact thing is looking. If you want to copy it down, this is the node tree for just that particular group. So if we were to just unmute this and Control-Shift click, it looks like a normal noise texture, but it does rotate. However, to actually see it, you need to see the volume of it because the entire swirling is happening mainly towards the center. Since we already have this gradient mask that removes everything except for the central region, let's just go ahead and unmute this and then take a look at what it's doing. So now you can see we have that swirling noise within that little disk that we had created. So this is exactly what we have. By simply multiplying some swirly noise with our gradient texture. Now this might look a little too plain. So what we can do is just add layers of noise to this. So let's take another swirly noise, and this time we just change the noise scale and the rotation speed, and we add it using a mixed color node set to screen. And if you were to just look at what this is doing, as you can see, it should feel like we have two layers of noise, one on top of the other, that's just spinning at different speeds. So this is exactly what you can see. To see it even better, we can just convert it to the black and white gradient. And now you can clearly see the two layers of noise, one that's moving faster or rotating faster, and the other one that's there underneath it, and how they're interacting with each other and adding up because of the screen combination that we've created over here. Now that, when we multiply with the original gradient texture, essentially gives us another layer of detail that's being added into this particular galaxy or whatever you want to call it. Now that looks really good, but again, we can start adding even more detail. So let's start by adding in, this time, another layer of noise, but instead of adding it in, let's remove it. So we can remove noise by simply multiplying instead of using something like screen or add. So let's use another multiplication with another swirling noise at a different rotation frequency, and then go ahead and look at what that gives us. And now you see we've removed a lot of the detail from it, but we have this rotating fairly fast. So it seems like a lot more of a live galaxy, and you can see a lot more of the details. However, because we multiplied it by this swirly noise, we're going to have to give it even more details or like brighten it back up. So we can just multiply it by a higher value. And now we have everything a lot brighter with all of these nice details. But now let's go ahead and give the central area of this particular galaxy even more brightness. And we can do that using another gradient texture. So let's just unmute these and take a look at what just the gradient texture would have looked like. And you can see it's nothing great. It's exactly what we had. But if we pass it through this float curve, what we're essentially doing is, instead of having the outer regions as black, we are starting it off at some density. So it isn't ever going to become 0. And even the central region isn't going to become completely 1. We're just giving this custom profile curve. Now, when we add in a value of 0.6, all of these regions go above 1 except for a few that are at the absolute base end. Those end up remaining lesser than 1 or around 1. Now, when you use this power node, what we get is all of the regions that were just above 1 becoming extremely bright, and that's what gives us this bright little blur right at the center. And now when we multiply the previous value that we had with this, we essentially get a bright center along with all of the nice details that we already had. So that is cool by itself, and it's pretty much already a galaxy that renders out very fast. But we can go way cooler by adding in some more details. The first thing is the color. So we're just going to use the exact same swirly noise with some different settings and pass that through a color ramp to select the colors for our galaxy. Now that's really cool, but this lacks any number of stars. So we're going to go ahead and add in some larger stars using a geometry nodes trick. So for that, to be able to see just the geometry nodes, let's remove all of this that we created by just plugging a transparent into the surface and getting rid of the principal volume and enabling our geometry nodes modifier. So now if we go over to the geometry nodes editor, what we're doing is we're going to keep the original galaxy that we already had using a joint geometry. So we're going to take the original cube and convert it into a volume, which we can see right over here. Now within this volume, we're going to distribute a bunch of points. Now we're going to randomize the radius of the points using a set point radius. And now we just have these larger stars, but they're currently doing nothing. So we need to make them rotate. So the way we're going to rotate them is by setting the position based off of the original position, but we're going to use a vector rotate to rotate them by some amount. So let's search for the vector rotate and rotate it by the number of seconds on just the z-axis. So we're taking the seconds on the z-axis and rotating the original positions by that amount. So you see now they're just rotating about their z values. Hopefully you can see it, but that might be a little too fast. And that's why we can just add in this divide node. And now it's rotating slowly about the z-axis, which is exactly what we want. However, now you see they're all rotating at the exact same speed. We don't necessarily want that because in a galaxy, particles that are towards the edge actually rotate a lot faster. So we can go ahead and just ensure that the rotation changes based off of this length. So let's take the length of the position and simply multiply that by the speed. So that way now we have things that are closer towards the center not moving at all versus things that are further away moving much faster. And to again have full control over that, we can just use some more math. And since they were rotating in the incorrect direction, we can just multiply it by -1. And now we have control over the speed and the fall off of the rotation and the direction of the rotation. Next, if we set materials to stars, we can essentially hide anything that's going outside that galaxy's sphere. Because without this, you see we have particles coming in the shape of that exact square. Instead of deleting anything that's going out of the squares, we can just hide them using this stars material. What this does is it also allows particles that are closer towards the edge to essentially not be as bright as compared to just deleting everything that's towards the edge or outside the particular disk. The stars material by itself is very similar to our galaxy material. It's the same gradient texture that's deciding what areas actually get to be emissive and which areas become transparent. We are simply multiplying that by the same swirly noise that's being added using a screen. And that is actually all there is to it. It's pretty much the exact same setup. If you want the node setup, this is the node setup for the stars. If you want the node setup for the galaxy, this is the full node setup for the galaxy. Now, all this might look really cool, but let's make it 20 times better using one simple trick. And if you've actually made it this far, just comment down below because my average view duration has become less than 1 minute nowadays. So I'd really like to know who stays till the end. So the trick mainly starts by switching from EV to cycles. Now within cycles, you notice because of the amount of noise, it already looks like a star field. So we can actually use that to our advantage. The first thing that we're going to do is keep the max samples down to something as low as 15. And then we're going to ensure that denoise is switched off so that it maintains this noise. However, if we use the default settings, the noise changes every frame and it just looks like a very noisy video. To fix that, under the advanced tab underneath the render settings, switch the pattern from automatic to classic and keep the seed at any specific value. But as long as it's one single value that's not time dependent, the noise remains the exact same over every frame. So it doesn't look like the stars are abruptly moving and there's just absolute noise. It looks like a very specific star field that you're seeing. And that gives it this insanely detailed view that makes it look like it probably took days of render time, but in reality, it's just simple noise. To sell the effect completely, all you need to do is go over to the compositor node setup and just add in a little bit of bloom and some streaks, and that's all you require to get an animation that looks something like this. I hope this tutorial taught you something, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. Let me know what I should make next, and we'll see how we can make that into a reality. Until the next video comes out, thank you so much for watching, keep creating, and don't forget to stay creative.